Article 370 petitions. The Chief Justice of India says the court will only examine if there is a violation of the Constitution and will not reassess the basis of the government's decision and won't examine whether or not this is in national interest. Now, a batch of petitions against Article 370, the abrogation of it, being taken up by the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court has made some strong observations saying the court will only examine if there is a violation of the Constitution. My colleague Nilashish is joining us on the broadcast with the details. Nilashish, a batch of petitions reached the Supreme Court, but this is a very crucial observation of the top court, saying if there is a violation of the Constitution, we're going to look at it, but will not examine whether this is in the national interest or not. Take us through what happened in court.
Yes, absolutely. As the Constitution Bench continues to hear the batch of petitions with regard to the abrogation of Article 370, the CJI today has said very clearly that the Supreme Court will only examine if there is a violation of the Constitution and will not reassess basis of government's decision. They will not examine if it was in national interest or not. In fact, the CJI has emphasized that judicial review would be confined to a constitutional violation, and he went on to say that there is no doubt about that. The CJI, in fact, during the course of the hearing said, while addressing Dushyant Dave, one of the counsels appearing in this case, that you are inviting the court to review the wisdom of the decision of the government on the abrogation of Article 370. You are saying that judicial review should reassess the basis of the government's decision, that was it not in national interest to continue with Article 370. And upon that, it was stated very clearly by Chief Justice DY Chandrachud that the ambit of examination will be limited to the violation of the Constitution, not whether there is national interest or the rationale behind that particular decision.
So the petitions had spoken about whether this is in national interest or not. But Nilashish, any more details of whether any of the petitions are speaking about any violation of the Constitution that has been mentioned that the court spoke of?
Right at the very beginning, let's not forget when the hearing was about to commence, first the modalities were set out and the Constitution Bench had made it very clear that they would only be looking into the constitutionality of the decision and not the reasoning. That is something that has again been reiterated today by the bench. Now, as far as today's arguments are concerned, of course, senior advocate Dushyant Dave said that the President alone can act on a resolution by the Constituent Assembly. This article has lived its life and achieved its purpose. Now, we can see how the manner in which the purpose and the reasoning behind the particular decision is being brought into court, to which the CJI was very clear that once the Constituent Assembly completed its task in 1957, there cannot be any constitutional amendments at all. Thus, it's believed by the constitutional practice itself. The constitutional amendments happened and went on happening till 2019. If Article 370 has served its purpose, continued the CJI, after the Constituent Assembly comes to an end, why were constitutional orders made applicable post-1957? So these aspects were touched upon by the CJI, saying that the fact that 370 served its purpose, it is belied by consequent constitutional orders made applicable.
Okay, all right. Strong observation by the Chief Justice on the petitions that have been filed as the hearing still continues.